You can listen to The Professional Left wherever you get your podcasts, on NetRoots Radio, or at our website, proleftpod.com, where you can also contribute to this podcast. There's a PayPal button at our website, or you can mail us a letter and or contribution at P.O. Box 9133, Springfield, Illinois, 62791.
This is the podcast for the week of July 25th, 2025. It's not safe for work.
Recorded live from the Cornfield Resistance, where stupid Watergate just keeps getting stupider.
Forget the myths that the media has created about the White House. The truth is, these are not very bright guys, and things got out of hand.
It's The Professional Left with Driftglass and Blue Gal.
Before getting on with the right tearing itself apart, trying to stop the Epstein avalanche, or talking about the Jubilee, what Driftglass calls the Jubilee garbage site, and why Driftglass thinks Mehdi Hasan's stunt was a terrible idea, we feel in the interest of fairness that we should read this heartfelt letter from someone who, thanks to the reasonable, patient voices of liberals, has seen the error of their ways and has come to the light. Quote, "Dear fellow patriots," and apparently commie snowflakes, "I never thought I'd see the day. For years, I've been in the MAGA vanguard. I believed that flooding the zone with shit was a legitimate political strategy because, let's be honest, it worked. I specialized in rage baiting, in turning harmless Facebook memes into major fronts in the culture war, and I made a tidy profit doing so. But then I stumbled across the Professional Left podcast. At first, I tuned in for reconnaissance. Yeah, I figured, know your enemy. Maybe I'd get a few fresh talking points to crush in my next appearance on whatever dark money-funded channel could afford my time. Instead, I found myself laughing, and worse, thinking. By episode 3, I was holding my Trump Bible in one hand and a Both Sides Don't coffee mug in the other, and asking myself, wait, are we the baddies? You dismantled my best talking points like a Harvard debate team on Red Bull, exposed how the so-called culture war is just a cynical distraction, how billionaires have been running the table while the rest of us argue over light bulbs, windmills, and who's eating which pets. I'll admit it. I had a moment of clarity. MAGA isn't a movement, it's a pyramid scheme, where the pyramid is made of trucker hats and the scheme is send us more money. And now that I've heard the truth, I can't unhear it, so I'm out. I've traded in my own podcast for a modest office where I now teach people how to unsubscribe from right-wing email blasts, and I've sold all my podcasting equipment, and enclosed you will find a check for what I got for it, minus a donation to Act Blue. Thank you, Professional Left. You've saved one man's soul. Sincerely, Steve Bannon. Now, wait a minute, Driftglass.
Unquote, Blue Gal. Let's get it right. Unquote.
Which AI helped you write this?
It's more of a writing prompt. I asked for a writing prompt type of thing. Yeah.
That's a silly way to start a show, Driftglass.
It is. Well, it's there to underscore something, Blue Gal. That not only did this never happen, it never will happen, because it never can happen.
Yeah.
Because it's always a terrible idea to platform fascists, because fascists always act in bad faith. I think we now, you and I disagree on the whole fascism in the round.
These very popular YouTubes, right, where a liberal sits in one chair and is surrounded by right-wing college students. Right.
Yeah. And you and I disagree on a lot. Now, I think we both agree that it's a terrible idea that fascists always act in bad faith.
Yes, I agree with that.
Their ideology is so important to them, they feel no compunctions about lying, cheating, stealing, demonizing, doing what Republicans have been doing to Democrats for 50 years.
Right.
So they have no compunction with that. But this is why this fascism in the round, I think Mehdi Hasan's taking on 20 right-wing incels was such a bad idea. Because, first, the whole thing runs like an hour and 40 minutes, which is about an hour and 38 minutes longer than anyone online you were hoping to reach will ever spend on seeing some foreigner debate fascist incels. And
don't forget that Hunter Biden was on for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. And who did he reach?
thousands and thousands and thousands of views. So,
But it doesn't matter the thousands. Thousands don't matter. Who did he reach? What effect did it have? Oh, the effect was the good people at the Bulwark are like, oh God, can you believe this asshole's running his mouth?
Well, he reached Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan thinks he's presidential material after hearing that.
Joe Rogan,
so
toilet piranha, I believe.
I throw up my hands at that point, like, all right.
But and I understand that Mehdi Hasan is not a foreigner. He was born, I think, in Britain. He's an American citizen. I'm saying what they saw in their mind's eye.
Oh, yeah, they see a non-white person. Absolutely,
it's a 2-hour theatrical performance to nobody. There's nobody on. So it was just a stunt. If this is just a stunt, let me just say that if this is just a stunt to get clicks and eyeballs, that's fine. Fine, do that. I can think of better things to do with your time than engaging with fascists to try to get people to pay attention to me, but that's fine. But then it's nothing more than the hit fictional TV show from Idiocracy called Ow My Balls.
Yeah.
It's just an hour and 40 minutes of people getting kicked in the balls, and that makes liberals delightful. That makes us all happy. It doesn't do anything, doesn't change any minds. It's basically the Lincoln Project ads over and over and over.
Right.
I
understand.
Makes our ganglia twitch. Doesn't move the needle one little bit.
Yeah.
So don't get all excited and pretend this accomplished anything, but getting the garbage site Jubilee more hits and clicks.
Well, and I don't know if they pay their liberals to come on.
I don't know. I believe they pay their participants, their college students, to go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're paying fascists to sit there and just say, I love fascism and I hate you and you're brown and smelly for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So it proved nothing. It merely confirmed what you already knew. I'm not addressing you personally, Blue Gal, because I love you.
No, but you're saying that it is a bias confirmation exercise.
Yeah, if you're a liberal watching it, it proves everything you already knew. The ordinary people, the unaffiliated, the undecided, those people are never going to watch this. It's never going to come near the rerun of NCIS that they're busy watching. It'll never interrupt their consciousness. So this is literally a tree falling in the forest and nobody around but a bunch of fascists going, yay, the brown guy got it. It persuaded no one. On the other hand, after trimming it down to a few tight, misleading 90-second spots, it did provide dozens of fascist sites with endless content. Because, why not chop it up to make it look like the proud fascist youth of America took on some smarmy brown foreigner and kicked his ass?
Yeah.
That was the verdict from...
An MSNBC star got pwned by
a college student who knows the facts about white America, man. So all you did was give them a large pile of raw material from which to draw whatever conclusion they choose to draw. And remember, they never argue in good faith. So they're going to turn it into... This is Hillary Clinton's 11 hours of a testimony in front of Congress. And she said one sentence, which was, what difference does it make?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all that Fox News ran 24/7 for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So all you're doing when you engage with them at all is giving them ammunition. The star of the show...
And you've got your facts a little bit wrong there, Driftglass.
Okay.
The 11 hours was different from the... what difference does it make? Those were two separate appearances, but it's all the same.
I got you. But it was at the end of the day, it was exhaustion on her part. Saying, let's fix it. What difference does it make at this point?
Well, no, I know all about that clip. A congressman was asking why no one called the ambassador in Benghazi while the firefight was going on. Couldn't you have reached them by phone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what difference would that have made? The building was on fire.
Right. But
that was her frustration. But
those words can be clipped out.
Yep.
And Hillary Clinton was sitting in the Situation Room cackling over people dying because she wanted them to die because she's an awful, evil, demonic person.
Americans don't make no difference to her.
Repeated on Fox a jillion times.
Right.
Because any engagement with these people that
faith
isn't involve a pie in the face is a bad faith thing that they will abuse for their own ends.
Right.
Now, the star of this little show, a pasty little potato bug named Connor Estelle, I believe, he made himself MAGA hero first class by getting himself canceled for speaking the truth out loud on camera, Blue Gal. He was out there telling the truth, and you know what? Cost him his job, but that's okay, because he told the truth. Of course, he didn't get canceled. He got fired. like millions of other Americans, get fired all the time for all kinds of reasons. Connor Estelle meet at-will employment in these here United States.
Yeah, at-will employment. It really sucks, doesn't it, Connor?
I wrote a post about this yesterday because the title was irresistible. It came to me, the muses landed in my lap and said, here's the title of your post. And now I had to write something, which was The Triumph of the At-Will.
Yes.
So a little bit of a riff on a famous Nazi film. We dug this actual 2008 complaint up from the internet. This is someone talking online to an employment lawyer about being fired for off-hours behavior. And there's a million of these cases, but this one's the first one that came up. It's from 2008. The customer says, I was fired for gross misconduct. I was caught smoking on my own time. The employment lawyer answers, did you have an employment contract? If so, did it specify reasons for termination? Did you have a workplace policy about smoking? Were you smoking in the workplace or in an area where you weren't allowed to smoke? What state were you in? Customer replies, no employment contract, I don't believe. The employee handbook only states use of drugs for dismissal, no workplace smoking policy, and I was not dismissed for smoking on the job. I was smoking in a non-smoking hotel that I was paying a room for. This happened in the state of Arizona. Employment lawyer responds, unfortunately, if you don't have an employment contract, then the employer can fire you for any reason. Yeah. Arizona is an employment at-will state. The only reason an employer can't fire you are for discrimination based on age, sex, race, national origin, or familial status. They also can't fire you for reporting their illegal conduct or for similar reasons. I know it's not fair, but that doesn't mean it's illegal. That's the end of the quotation. Unfortunately for Connor Estelle, being a MAGA dumbass and admitting on a live video that you're a fascist aren't a protected category.
Aww.
Now, I've been asked this question before many times in the last 20 years about my alias, my drift glass alias, and how it got started and why I chose it and why did I do it at all. Well, why do you think I began blogging under an alias when I started doing this 20 years ago, Blue Gal? You know this story. I'm whispering to you at night when we're together. Because while I was working for the city of Chicago, I was never more than 2 phone calls away from being fired for being a political blogger. And I mean, that day, that hour, it comes through, they find out I blog politically, and I say mean things about George Bush, I'm gone the next day. Absolutely, positively gone the next day. This is why I didn't ever have a fundraiser during all the time I was employed at the city of Chicago, for a couple of reasons, actually. First, because while I was working at the city and working a second job teaching college 2 nights a week, my income was adequate to my needs. I didn't need to do a fundraiser. I was slightly above water. I was financially stable enough, in fact, that I could and did contribute to other bloggers' fundraisers. So I used to write checks to bloggers because I supported what they do, and I still do. I wish most of them were still around. But the second reason is, every 6 months, all of us in senior management were required to fill out a financial disclosure statement detailing anything of value exceeding $50 that we received from anyone and the source of that income. And did I mention that while I worked for the city of Chicago, I was never more than 2 phone calls away from being fired for being a political blogger. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a little fun fact of history. The little Republican shit who would definitely have made those phone calls and ratted me out to the commissioner and got me fired was the same little Republican shit who committed multiple, no questions asked, often alcohol-related firing offenses on the job that the same commissioner routinely covered up for.
Oh, so, yeah, you've told me terrible stories about.
Welcome to life in the working world among adults. Where
drunken orgy behavior, you have told me, is pretty bad.
Oh, yes. Well, it was the one where there was a flask in the company van, and I was using the company van to go someplace, go downstate in front of a bunch of other people. We flipped the seat down, and a flask full of booze fell on the ground that had this asshole's name engraved on the side of it.
That's not his, though.
No, well, the first question, there are 2 guys by that name. First question I was asked by the commissioner was, you think it's the other guy? I said, no. A, he didn't borrow the van, and B, he was standing right there. So no, it wasn't him. Oh. Then the commissioner took a taste out of the bottle and said, oh, I know him. He doesn't drink this kind of liquor. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And on advice of counsel, I was there's just give her the bottle, tell the facts, and be done with it. Don't have anything else to do with that. Later in the day, I was told, oh, I talked to them, and it was just he borrowed the van to move some stuff. And this was a wedding. It was like some long involved story. No, he had booze in a company van that he shouldn't have had at all for any reason.
And he should be fired for it. I mean, there was cause to fire him over that. Yeah.
Employment, it's literally in the employment agreement at the city that something like this is an automatic termination. But that commissioner would cover up for people that they liked. Yeah. That was the job. That's living in the real world. So anyway.
Very political. Yep. Yeah. So in case you were worried about the fate of poor Connor.
Yeah.
Don't be. There is a fundraiser site called Give, Send, Go, which is GoFundMe for Nazis. Because right-wing literal Nazi organizations got kicked off of GoFundMe.
Right. The Proud Boys got kicked off.
For being racist. Mm-hmm. And so they started Give, Send, Go so that, racists could raise money.
Problem solved.
And after setting a goal of $15,000, as of this morning, Connor has raised nearly $38,000.
Yeah.
I tell you, we don't see $38,000 in 2 weeks.
No. No.
Want to bet by the end of August he's hit $100,000?
Huh?
And by Christmas, he's the new Kyle Rittenhouse. He'll be speaking at, CPAC or the Turning Point USA youth group.
The Schittler youth.
For sure.
Yeah.
There is no responsible way. This is true. I think you're absolutely right. No responsible way to engage with MAGA mopes because MAGA mopes never operate in good faith. Anytime a decent human being shares a stage with them, whether it's a YouTube stunt or a Sunday show panel, it sends a message to the audience that at some level these two people are roughly equivalent. Mm-hmm. And that the fascist deserves to be heard. Because we have to hear both sides of the argument.
This is how the both sides do it lie killed this country.
Yeah. And it's just bullshit. We don't need to hear what Klansmen think.
No.
And we don't need to hear what Klansmen adjacent people think. Or people who think Hitler had some good ideas. Or Hitler had one good idea, like Congresswoman Mary Nazi Miller said.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to debate those people. I think that's what your blog father said, right?
Yeah. I don't want them to debate. I don't want to engage them at all. I want to make them cry. I want to make them very angry that I'm saying these things about them. Yeah. I don't I don't consider them decent human beings at all. I don't consider it my job or my responsibility to hold them by their little sweaty hands and lead them into the light when all they want to do is drag the rest of us down into the Nazi dirt with them. Fuck those people.
So the only right response when walking into some staged event with MAGA fascists is...
Oh, well. It's the master race.
And then turn around and walk out.
But remember...
Steve Gilliard would do that.
Absolutely would. Wouldn't be caught dead there to begin with and would walk out. But remember, walk out slowly, standing tall and with some swagger. Do not scamper away like that cowardly little bitch Mike Johnson.
Now, you've all heard this by now, the fact that the Republicans are so terrified of talking about Donald Trump's massive pedophile cover-up that acting on his master's orders, Mike Johnson shut down the House of Representatives and sent everybody home days early until September, rather than let members vote on releasing the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, as of right now, it appears that subpoenaing Ghislaine Maxwell to testify before Congress sometime in August may still be a go. And we look forward to it for the sheer entertainment value.
I don't know nothing about that. I was in the olive oil business with his father, but that was a long time ago, that's all.
We have a sworn affidavit. We have it. Your sworn affidavit that you murdered on the orders of Mike Corleone. Do you deny the confession? And do you realize what will happen as a result of your denial?
Look, the FBI guys, they promised me a deal. So I made up a lot of stuff about Michael Corleone, because that's what they wanted. But it was all lies. Everything. And I kept saying, did this, and Michael Corleone did that. So I said, yeah, sure.
Apparently, Newsmax is coping with the blowback from Donald Trump's massive pedophile cover-up by running a loop of CGI Rush Limbaugh saying, Obama, treason, over and over again. At least that's what we hear. By the way, Fox mentioned Obama 120 times on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Greg Kelly on Newsmax said Ghislaine Maxwell, quote, might be a victim. She might be. There was a rush to judgment, unquote.
Wait a minute. You mean she was just snatched up off the street in America and thrown into a jail with no trial? That can't happen in America, Blue Gal. That cannot happen in America.
We're a country of laws and due process.
That's right.
Class.
That's right. Yeah. This is professional MAGA troll Bridget Gabriel, who told her 1.3 million followers on the shitty site that Elon Musk runs, quote, Obama committing treason is not a distraction. It's the lead story, unquote.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not, except they're screaming that it is. And, of course, leading the MAGA mob is, as always, Donald Trump, who dragged out his old racist birth certificate bullshit and did a replace all birth certificate with treason /Obama /Russia.
Can I say, you brought that up, and it stunned me when I heard some of what he was saying.
Yeah, it's almost word for word.
It is almost word for word.
Yeah.
The birther stuff.
Unbelievable. You won't believe what we're finding.
You won't believe what we're finding.
So many things we're finding. Because Donald Trump knows his people. He knows the pig people are desperate for a distraction from Trump's massive pedophile cover-up. Something they can scream over and over again as they run in circles with their eyes shut and their hands over their ears, yawping about Barack Obama. So Trump pulled out the most reliable drug in his arsenal. That raw, racist Obama derangement juice with a little crooked Hillary bump that MAGA scum can inject directly into their tiny little hearts.
From the New York fucking Times, quote, President Trump, under fire over his administration's handling of the Epstein files, escalated his distract and deflect strategy on Tuesday, accusing former President Barack Obama of treason and declaring it's time to go after people, unquote.
From the same article, quote, the witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama. Obama was trying to lead a coup, and it was with Hillary Clinton, unquote.
Quote, I let Hillary Clinton off the hook, and I'm very happy I did, but it's time to start after what they did to me, Mr. Trump said. Whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly, unquote.
And from the same article again, quote, it would be President Obama. He started it, and Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And the whole group was there. He is guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of, unquote.
This was every word I can think of?
Yeah, he's a deranged old tyrant who
I can think of a couple of words right now.
He needs to go by whatever means necessary, but he needs to fucking go.
This is from CNN, more Trump quotes. Quote, and it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So you want to take a look at that and stop talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
Because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race, and the 2020 race was rigged. And it was a rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country.
Every stupid conspiracy is, in fact, every other stupid conspiracy, because every stupid conspiracy came out of his mouth, and they all must be true. This is from the same thing, CNN, quote, if you look at those papers, they have them stone cold. And it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang... I know.
Wait a minute.
It
wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too.
Yeah. He's a deranged, syphilitic, old asshole who needs to go. Like yesterday.
Yeah.
But the leader of the gang was President Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Unquote.
So President Obama, it was his concept. His idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton, crooked as a $3 bill.
Yeah, because that's an expression you hear a lot, after the 1940s. Quote, and we have all the documents. And from what I, Tulsi told me she's got thousands of additional documents coming, unquote.
No. We caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones. And then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice. They're all there. The names are all there.
I'm afraid the defense has no other recourse than to produce Ensign Harding.
Now, there's no need for that. I know exactly what he tried to lie. He's no different from any other officers in the war. They were all disloyal. I tried to run the ship properly with the book, but they fought me at every turn. The crew wanted to walk around with their shirt tails hanging out. That's all right. Let them. Take the tow line. Defective equipment, no more, no less. But they encouraged the crew to go around scoffing at me and spreading wild rumors about scheming in circles and then over Yellowstain. I was to blame for Lieutenant Merrick's incompetence and poor seamanship. Lieutenant Merrick was the perfect officer, not Captain Queeg. The strawberries. That's where I had them. They laughed at me and made jokes. But I proved beyond the shadow of a doubt with geometric logic that a duplicate key to the War Device box did exist. And I'd produced that key if they hadn't pulled the cane out of action. I know now they were only trying to protect some fellow officer. Naturally, I can only cover these things from memory. If I've left anything out, why, just ask me specific questions and I'll be glad to answer them one by one.
In our news roundup, this is why the MAGA mob is losing whatever was left of their mind. From the Wall Street Journal, quote, Attorney General Pam Bondi told Trump in May that his name appeared multiple times in Justice Department documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who used to be Trump's attorney, by the way,
personal attorney,
said the material included unverified hearsay about Trump and many other high-profile figures. Weeks later, the department reversed course and refused to release more Epstein files, citing the presence of child pornography and victim information. Following political pressure, Trump directed Bondi to request the release of grand jury transcripts. Trump, meanwhile, denied being told his name was in the files and later blamed former officials like James Comey, calling the documents made up, unquote.
This is from CNN. Quote, a Florida judge denied the Trump administration's request to unseal grand jury transcripts.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. He keeps failing. This is so much winning, Blue Gal. So much winning. So much winning. From the 2005 and 2007 federal investigations into Jeffrey Epstein, Judge Robin Rosenberg wrote that the court's hands are tied and said the DOJ effectively conceded that the law does not permit disclosure under the narrow exceptions, unquote.
From the New York fucking Times, quote, Tulsi Gabbard's report, which claimed there was a treasonous conspiracy by top Obama officials, contradicted a lengthy study by the Senate Intelligence Committee that was signed by all Republican members of the committee, including Marco Rubio, now Trump's Secretary of State. That study affirmed that there was massive Russian influence in the 2016 election.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press. Let's see if that happens. That'll be next. Yes, sir.
And this is how the petulant, the calm, reasonable White House has been responding to this sort of thing. From CBS, quote, White House removes Wall Street Journal reporter from Trump's Scotland trip over the paper's Epstein story, unquote.
From CNN, quote, FEMA search and rescue chief resigns after frustration with Texas flood response. Ken Pagerek's departure comes less than 3 weeks after a delayed FEMA response to catastrophic flooding in central Texas caused by bureaucratic hurdles put in place by the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the disaster response agency. Pagerek told colleagues at FEMA that the delay was the tipping point that led to his voluntary departure after months of frustration with the Trump administration's efforts to dismantle the agency. According to two sources familiar with his thinking, it took more than 72 hours after the flooding for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to authorize the deployment of FEMA's search and rescue network, unquote.
And in more flooding news, this is from the Houston Chronicle, quote, despite having $3.4 million in reserves, the Upper Guadalupe River Authority in Kerr County chose to cut taxes and turn down a 0% interest loan from the state rather than fund a $1 million flood warning system upgrade, unquote.
From the Washington Post. I wonder what party those people are in Kerr County, Texas.
This is libertarian,
Yeah.
This is their wet dream,
Yep.
No government doing nothing.
Yeah.
We can take care of ourselves.
Yep. Mm-hmm. From the Washington Post, quote, New Jersey's federal judges rejected President Donald Trump's choice of Alina Habba to serve as U.S. attorney in the state, delivering a sharp rebuke to one of the most, say it with me now, controversial Justice Department nominees. Say controversial one more goddamn time.
Yeah.
She's unqualified.
Wildly unqualified.
Wildly unqualified. It's not controversial. That's not controversial.
No, that's a fact of science.
Yeah.
This is Donald Trump trying to do math.
It'll be numbers that nobody can even imagine. We're going to get the drug prices down, not 30 or 40%, which would be great, not 50 or 60. No, we're going to get them down 1,000%, 600%, 500%, 1,500%. Numbers that are not even thought to be achievable because I've used a certain talent that I have.
From Bloomberg, the Supreme Court let Trump fire 3 Democratic members of the Independent Consumer Product Safety Commission, despite federal law shielding them from removal without cause. Trump gave no reason for the firings. The court issued an unsigned order saying the case was squarely controlled by an earlier ruling that expanded presidential power over independent agencies. I wonder if that means that the next Democratic president can put 6 Democrats on the Federal Election Commission.
I think it means that the next Democratic president can throw the current Republicans in prison for no reason at all and maybe send them to Venezuela, I don't know, on charges that they blew their nose in the wrong direction, and then put a bunch of liberals from the Midwest or dogs or sock puppets, whatever they want. Presidents can do anything they want. There are no laws.
I see. Mm-hmm. How about filling the Supreme Court with black women? That might be a good idea.
That'd be great.
9 of them.
9
right?
black
Isn't
women.
That what Ruth Bader Ginsburg said? When there are 9?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When will there be enough women on the court? When there are 9.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump gave no reason for the firings. The court issued an unsigned order saying the case was squarely controlled by an earlier ruling that expanded presidential power over independent agencies. Without the 3 members, however, the 5-member commission lacks a quorum and is unable to do its job of protecting consumers from defective products, unquote.
The most defective product in the world is that lump of syphilitic poison inside of Donald Trump's head. Breaking news, by the way, this is Thursday afternoon. Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously blocked an amendment to require the release of the Epstein files.
It was on a party line vote, 12 to 10.
Oh, I'd like to also mention 2 quick things, executive privilege, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Number 1, I'd like to thank Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen for inviting me on their show yesterday. We had a wonderful time. We talked. I'll tell you this, Blue Gal.
Yeah.
Good company in evil times is a balm for the soul.
It is.
And Digby, it was me and Digby, and we do this sort of thing once every few weeks. And it's just wonderful to be around people like that when things are not going great. It was great relief. And next week, I believe next Wednesday,
yes,
you and I will be appearing, if all things being equal and the creek don't rise,
right,
on the Bob Seska Show. Mr. Robert Seska will be having us on to talk all things Star Trek, compare notes on Superman.
I don't know if it'll be all things Star Trek.
No. But Bob's another good egg, and we love having our time with him.
It's really fun. Hopefully there won't be any tornadoes or anything driving us to the basement. But if there are, we're ready for it.
Yeah, or any dental emergencies that had to be taken care of. It's always
something like that.
Although we're sitting under, if you don't follow Midwest weather, we're sitting under the tail end of a heat dome that's been going on for about 3 or 4 days. So around here, the feels like temperature has been oscillating midday between 104 and 110 degrees.
Yep.
So
yesterday it peaked at 110, feels like temperature.
And you know what that is, Blue Gal?
It's the corn sweat.
It's the corn sweat. We tried to tell you. There have been
news stories today about the corn sweat.
Yeah. We're getting through.
The humidity coming off of the cornfields.
Mm-hmm. We're getting through to them, Blue Gal. We're getting through to them.
Each week we post to our Patreon page and website an Internet Kitty, sent in by you, the listeners. This week's internet kitty, however, is a leopard gecko named Penny.
Aw.
Like many great Americans, Penny is an immigrant. She lives in a house with 2 knucklehead cats who will eat anything, anytime, but Penny insists that her crickets are only freshly poured.
Freshly poured, freshly poured. Oh, my Lord, it's freshly poured.
And you can visit Penny at our Patreon page, patreon.com/proleftpod, or our website, proleftpod.com.
I'd like to interrupt for just a moment, Blue Gal.
Yeah.
Another point of personal privilege.
Sure.
I'd like to pour one out for a dear friend of mine who's no longer with us. That would be my gecko lizard named Lurch.
Lurch.
Lurch that I kept in a shoebox under my bed with some grass and fed him bugs. The name Lurch should give it away about what time period we're involved in.
Just how old you were, too.
It was in the Philippines. We lived in the Philippines, and gecko lizards were everywhere. The joke was, and this did happen frequently, we'd be eating dinner or whatever, sitting around, whatever we were doing, and across the wall you'd see one scamper, translucent, big old fingers, and the joke was you could go boo, and it would have a heart attack and fall into your food. So Philippines was where I learned all about amazing insects and giant bats and exotic, and I thought that was normal. So
well, Penny is a lovely gecko.
Yes,
and lives in her own little house, and apparently the cats just ignore her, or she ignores the cats.
Yeah.
Or finds a way to be stealth and really does not interact with them.
Well, we
much.
learned from Jessica Awesome that you can coexist.
Yes, Jessica Awesome, the gerbil.
Yeah,
lived with cats at the same time up at the castle.
Mm-hmm.
One summer, I came up to the castle for a while, and we brought Jessica up to the castle, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Jessica Awesome, and they were able to cohabit as long as doors were
the bathroom
closed.
Door was closed. we put the gerbil cage in the bathtub, and then closed the bathroom doors. And they sniffed under the door quite a bit.
They did. They thumped that door with their paw and sniffed under it. And Jessica was like, "Are we cool? Are we cool? Everything cool?
We're cool."
Yeah. Okay.
Jessica was fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
you can send your internet kitty, dog, gecko, or other pet to us at our email address, proleftpodcast@gmail.com. Subject line, internet kitty, even if it's a gecko.
Even if it's a gecko.
Please say internet kitty in the subject line. And that's where you can also write to both of us, proleftpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to write to us. We do love hearing from you. Be aware that if you write to us at any of our addresses, we reserve the right to read your email or U.S. Postal Service. Go Postal Unions. Letter on the air unless you say otherwise.
That's why we read the Steve Bannon letter, because he did not say otherwise. So we went ahead.
The fake Steve Bannon letter opened our show.
It's a fake.
We will not be doing that again.
Oh, you want to bet? And now it's time for a friendly reminder about our gourmet coffee guidelines. If you are able to treat yourself to an espresso-based beverage any time of the year, even when it's 110 degrees outside, we ask that you consider treating us to one as well. This isn't charity. This is, in fact, how we support the work that we do. If you can spare just $5 a month or more, we'd be very grateful for your support at patreon.com/proleftpod. Please help us continue to grow by also sharing the show on social media. If you love this podcast, introduce it to a friend. Thank you so much for helping us, keeping it going.
Hey, Driftglass, how are the Internet Kitties doing this week?
Well, the Internet Kitties want to remind everyone within the sound of my voice that it's a noun, a verb, and the Epstein files from now until the end of time.
Let's think about living. Think about living. Let's think about loving. Think about loving. Let's think about the hooping and the hopping and the bopping and the lovey-dovey. Let's forget about the wine and the crying, the shooting and the dying, and the fellow with the switchblade knife. Let's think about living. Let's think about life.
The Professional Left podcast is recorded under a Creative Commons license. Copyright 2024-25, GGBG Productions.